Hey folks, today is Friday, May 5th, 2023. As usual, my name is Jake Baldino, here to talk about all the video game news that has been going on this week. We got a lot to talk about. Obviously, I'm in a different place. It's the traveling road of video games. But the news doesn't stop, so let's just jump right in. The first thing, if you pay attention to any headlines, it's probably been Redfall. Redfall dropped this week to, what's the word? Seems like critics aren't liking it. It seems like a lot of fans are pretty disappointed with it, especially Arcane fans. We put out a Before You Buy video for it. Straight up, I didn't like it. I came out and said that. I'm not like a rage reviewer, so I didn't freak out about it, but ultimately, I found the game unfortunately boring and dull. That being said, it seems like Xbox fans have been itching for something for a while, and we're happy to just jump into something new. And with all the disappointments and stuff kind of hitting the airwaves, essentially, head of Xbox Gaming, Phil Spencer, did take to an interview, like right up front. He spoke with Kinda Funny. I listened to the whole interview. I thought it was all right, and we will link that interview and everything else I talk about down in the description below. And the official response from Microsoft or Xbox and the head is that the game isn't up to their standards and they're sorry. I mean, there's a lot of talk here, and I do think it's an interesting interview just to hear, the headspace of one of the people in charge of the games and stuff that we play. But ultimately, listening to Phil talk and him kind of saying it, and also just seeing the game itself, it seems like Microsoft needs to maybe rethink how they evaluate games up to their lead up, because according to Phil Spencer in this interview, they were actually caught by surprise once the game released and got bad reviews. They do a bunch of internal testing and mock reviews and stuff on the inside. All game developers and publishers do, but for them to not see this one coming, interesting. I don't really know if that was really the case, but he was also candid about the fact that when they announced the game was going to be 30 FPS, they took that one on the chin, and rightfully deserved. And yeah, I think that it's good that a head of like $1 billion thing is forthright and willing to talk, but I'm still looking for more action ultimately. It's nice to hear that they are standing by the teams and their creativity, and that they are going to work to kind of back this game up, essentially. But that's where we're at with that. If you do want to listen to the whole interview, I'll link it down in the description below. We also do have some PlayStation news to talk about, but one last Xbox thing worth mentioning is that there may potentially be things to look forward to. That is, if you are following the whole Summer Game Fest thing. It's kind of replacing E3. Well, around that time in June, Xbox is going to have their showcase event. So mark your calendar, Sunday, June 11th, 10 a.m. Pacific, is when they're seemingly going to hopefully announce stuff and update us on some old stuff, and also have a big Starfield deep dive. So if you're looking for game news, that's probably the time. We've talked about this multiple news shows at this point. Like, people have more questions for Microsoft, so we're gonna have to see where this goes. Also, an update in what seems to be almost a landmark lawsuit. Bungie won a massive lawsuit against someone who was selling cheats to the tune of $12 million in damages. It's a shit ton of money, pardon my French. Bungie had been seeking like 11 million and change, and they got it in this court case. I mean, yes, was the cheat seller probably in the wrong? I don't know how the legalities work, but we're pretty much anti-cheaters here at Game Ranks, but still, it's one person versus a big company with a bunch of lawyers and resources. So it was bound to happen. That sounds absolutely massive too, but check out the link, the sources that are in the description, because there's also details of a Bungie lawsuit from a couple months back that you may not remember, where they sued another cheater and they got like $13 million. So Bungie is not playing easy on this stuff. Considering that's their whole game, that's their model, I guess that's why they're pursuing it. But hey, have you ever been sued by a company for $1 bajillion for playing video games? Let us know in the comments. Now, in other news, if we are talking about the higher-ups of these game companies talking about stuff in corporate speak, there is a pretty good interview out there with Herman Hulst, head of PlayStation Studios, who kind of went on record about their whole live service thing. We've talked for a while now that Sony has announced, and that they have been building up on the back end with new developers, essentially a big portfolio of live service style games. Herman Hulst did go on record saying that doesn't mean that we're just going to have a bunch of Destinies and Divisions. He details essentially how they want to have this work for different genres. He's pretty forthcoming with it. It seems like he kind of is aware that the type of games as a service or live service concept does get a bad rap by some gamers. I don't know if necessarily they're going to change people's minds, but if you want to at least know what they're thinking, get in the mind of the corpos a little bit, I'll link that. But it's also worth highlighting some good news. It seems like more Sony or PlayStation games ported to PC is going to be a thing, as long as hopefully they're not all like buggy and glitchy when they release, because that's been PC ports lately. No, PC Gamer did a really good deep dive with a lot of Sony's earnings, and they kind of extrapolated that their games that they're putting on PC are actually selling significantly well. So by their estimation and by their numbers, like, it seems like a logical thing that Sony is going to pursue that. I think, when money is green, they're going to keep doing things, and that's cool, man. Where's Bloodborne? That's it. That's all I have.
Hey, next up, have you ever seen an email or a link that just seems so absolutely real, but it turns out it's not? This is what it's called phishing, and these links can trick you into giving up your credentials to anyone. You gotta check links thoroughly and carefully, and thankfully, our sponsor NordVPN has a good trick for that, as well as many other features. So as you might know, NordVPN is the #1 thing we use for online security here. We install it on all of our machines. From phishing, scams, password attacks, DDoS attacks, malware, new tricks all the time, you're gonna wanna protect yourself with a VPN, and with NordVPN, all of your internet data stays safe behind a wall of next-generation encryption. And about those tricky links I mentioned, well, NordVPN offers threat protection, which you can switch on, regardless of whether you're online or not, to have it keep watch over bad links, downloads, and trackers. That and all of NordVPN's features are super easy to use and set up across all your devices. Along with that, Nord offers proxy browser extensions that are super easy to install, they're lightweight, they're fast, and overall it's just an easy and safe good product to use. So if you're interested, every purchase of a 2-year plan will come with a big discount and 4 months free. Our link down here in the description, if you click it, is the best deal you can find online for NordVPN. So there's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You should check it out. Head to nordvpn.com/gameranks. And big thanks to them for sponsoring our videos.
Oh, now in other news, Amnesia has returned. I mean, not really. I mean, it's been around, but essentially the new Amnesia game looks really good. We've known Amnesia the Bunker has been coming for a while. We've gotten little glimpses at it, but now Frictional has released like a 10-minute long gameplay video, and it seems pretty authentic. A lot of people are pointing out kind of like penumbra, also the fact that like they don't show the monster a lot, but it is clearly terrifying. There are weapons. There is also like a hand crank flashlight that seems really unique. They show off the inventory system a little bit, some physics system stuff. It feels like a good mix of like them being a bigger studio now, but still feeling like an authentic kind of old school-ish PC game. I mean, the original Amnesia was such a huge deal, and they put out other stuff, but this just seems promising. We won't know for sure until we actually get our hands on it, though. We don't know what the deal really is. I mean, we've only seen the one environment, essentially, the bunker, so far, but it does look creative. Still, we won't have to wait too long, because that's coming at the end of May 23rd, and we'll probably make a video on it to run through it, so keep your eyes peeled. Some other things worth highlighting that I will link in the description down below. The first is DLC for Midnight Suns. We thought Midnight Suns was pretty cool here. At first, it got kind of mixed reviews, but it seems like people are really taking to it. The people that have stuck with it have really been digging it, and some of the DLC has actually been pretty decent, and now we're getting Storm DLC, which is cool. I just like her. I like X-Men. The more X-Men, the better, if you ask me. But this is called Bloodstorm, and this DLC, if you're watching this, is actually dropping like next week, May 11th. So there's that. They did announce, unfortunately, though, that they are dropping the Nintendo Switch version of the game. So if you were holding out for that, that sucks. That's a bummer. But I guess after sales and everything, they had to like prioritize and focus on the DLC. Still, I mean, I wish they made that projection earlier, but yeah, I mean, we just don't like seeing Switch users get left out in the cold. But it's also worth noting a little highlight for Star Wars Jedi Survivor. I mentioned earlier a lot of games having some busted and buggy releases lately. Survivor on PC was definitely one of them. It was pretty problematic, and Respawn has addressed this, and they have put out updates, and we're seeing some reports from some PC users that things are getting a little better. They're also still working on console. There's some issues here and there, and that seems to be developing. I like seeing a game not just released and abandoned, especially on PC. PC players, I know sometimes it happens to you guys where you may have one issue with your game and the developers never really acknowledge it and they just move on. I'm hoping that Survivor continues to improve. It seemed like a big hit sales numbers wise, so I really hope they definitely have the money to, so come on. Still, we talked about it last week. I think underneath all the glitches and bugs and whatever issues you may have with it, it is a cool Star Wars game. I really enjoyed playing it. Oh, in some other news, something I never thought I would actually say out loud. They're making another Shadow Man game. Yeah, it's been like more than a decade. I'm pretty old, so I really like playing the original back on like, what was that? PS1, Nintendo 64. I think there was a Dreamcast version. It even got remastered like just this year, so it makes sense that they're coming out with a new one. It's called Shadow Man Dark Legacy. We don't know too much about it yet, other than that it's coming for all the major platforms in 2024, and the developer is Blowfish Studios, a smaller kind of indie developer. Personally, I haven't really experienced much of their games, but it's kind of cool that they're giving a shot at an IP like this, and believe it or not, it's like a new Shadow Man. You're not playing as Michael. It seems like they ditched him for this new guy, Jack. There was actually a lot of lore behind the original game, and also there was a sequel. People forget that they made a sequel on PlayStation 2, but still, it's been a long time. This is a new character, explorable worlds, action-adventure game with some RPG character progression, and that's all we know. I'm into old things being revived, but I'm also into old things being revived and having something new done with them. This could take Shadow Man lore in a cool direction. Who knows? Also, just want to say, if there is life for a new Shadow Man game in 2023, 2024, whatever, then there has to be room for Legacy of Kain, right? Right. Oh, and I gotta link this, more Skywind gameplay. We've talked about this before on the channel. This is essentially a massive community project to build Morrowind within the Skyrim engine. It has been a huge project with a bunch of volunteers working on it for many, many years, and we got a 20-minute gameplay video of it, and it seems pretty cool. We get to see two-handed weapon and magic wielding, some pretty impressive environments, and just a lot of that representation of the original game that, you want to see, especially if you're a little bit older like me. I've just really been a fan of this project from the beginning, just the transparency, the involvement, and how how people have learned on this thing. Like, it's just really cool. You love to see it. Also, they put a trailer out for the Gran Turismo movie. Yes, that is a thing. If you weren't paying attention to movie news, which I get it, this is an actual movie, a dramatic film starring David Harbour, Orlando Bloom, and a couple of other people, I can't remember their names, essentially focused around someone who is obsessed with video games and is like a pro gamer that gets picked up by the big leagues and becomes an actual racer. And the trailer seems pretty exciting. I like a good racing movie. I like all that stuff. Is this going to be like Ford v Ferrari? I don't know. But if they took the Gran Turismo brand and are using that to tell an actual good, compelling story, as long as it doesn't start, I'm okay with that. And this is actually apparently kind of based on a true story. So there's that cool angle as well. Also, I just think the movie poster for this is really funny because it just says in big, bold letters, "From gamer to racer." I don't know why. I just look at that and I laugh. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. But that's the stuff that's going on this week. I got to run, unfortunately, but we got a bunch of videos in the works for upcoming games next week or so. I mean, what's out? Zelda, that Amnesia I mentioned, Hogwarts Legacy coming to last-gen consoles. There's a bunch of stuff out there, so we're going to go, but we definitely want to hear what you guys think in the comments about the news stories. Of course, Phil Spencer talking Xbox. How do you feel about Redfall? The corporate response to Redfall. Maybe you hate the game. Maybe you're actually having a good time with it. Just let us know what you're thinking. And then PlayStation, on their side, how do you feel about what their leadership has to say about live service, games as a service-y type games? And honestly, are you going to see the Gran Turismo movie? I am. I just like cars that go vroom and go fast. It's cool. So let me know what you think about any of that stuff, all the news we talked about. Hit me up down in the comments. We're always down there, but things get a little crazy. So if you want to yell at me directly, you know where to find me. Twitter, Instagram, all those places at Jake Baldino. Thank you guys very much for being around here. I mean, we got you covered every Friday with the news. So click the like button because it does help us. Thank you. But that's it. Just be safe. Have a good weekend. See you in the next one. Pizza's on me.